Hey guys, Blake here with another video, and today I want to talk about what I consider to be maybe the best beginner fish, the first fish that I ever bred. It's a fan favorite and they're packed full of color. Let's talk about platy fish today. Let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so to get things started with platies, we need to know where they come from. They come from Central and South America. Typically, they inhabit warm waters with low to no flow at all. So they come from things like ditches, marshes, and other little tributaries that are generally stagnant water. They're a fantastic beginner fish because they are super hardy. There's not too many fish-related diseases that they're specifically prone to getting. They might still contract ick and things like that, but there's not many fish in the hobby that won't. And even if they do, they're pretty resilient and generally some medication will clear it up really quickly. So they're very forgiving for beginners. I prefer them to the other popular alternative of guppies because they are far hardier and yeah, just generally they're still a live bearer, so they'll still have plenty of reproduction and all those things that really attract people into the hobby, but without half of the issues that guppies tend to have. Another great thing is that platies come in all the colors of the rainbow, so whether you're looking for an orange fish, a blue fish, a yellow fish, a black fish, or anything in between, you'll be able to find it within the platy genus, so they will have a color for you no matter which one you are looking for. Platies live between 3 to 5 years depending on whether you've got a Variatus or a southern platy. They're not considered a shoaling or a schooling fish, so they will happily live within a pair or a trio if possible, but they will also do well in groups because they are super peaceful. In terms of size, they get up to about 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters for a big female. Overall, they're sort of a stocky, sturdy little fish, so they don't have long fins or anything. Even though they come from areas of low flow, they're not going to struggle if you do have a canister filter or something on your aquarium either. So you don't have to control the flow in the aquarium as much as you would other fish which have long flowing fins. In terms of minimum tank size, I'd keep a trio in a minimum of 10 gallons, although they are a live bearer and they will breed, so if you have males and females, keep that in mind. If you don't want them to breed, you've just got a 10 gallon and you're restricted to that tank alone, then maybe just keep a couple of males in there and you'll still have a really colourful, awesome fish tank, which you can plant out and make it look spectacular. Platies are omnivorous, so they will enjoy both vegetable and protein content in their diet. So give them a nice varied diet, lots of pellets, flakes, and some occasional frozen foods as well, and they'll be nicely conditioned and show best coloration. Typically there's two main types of platies that you'll see in your local fish store. There's the Variatus platy and the southern platy. They both come from areas around about Mexico, but the Variatus is going to show more shimmery sort of colors and they have a wider variety of coloration, and the southern platies are more your bread and butter platies. They'll have those whiter and more solid coloration than the Variatus. There is a third type of platy called the swordtail or spiketail platy. This does differ from the swordtail fish, which confusingly enough is related to platies as well and can interbreed with platies, but the fish you'll see labelled as swordtails differ from what I'm talking about here, which are swordtail or spiketail platies. Spiketail or swordtail platies are incredibly uncommon and you're not likely to sort of stumble across them. You really have to seek them out, so hopefully that's not too confusing. pH wise, they do prefer things on the harder side, so between 6.8 pH to 8 is a good range to keep it within. And temperature wise, they actually enjoy it on the cool side, so 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 to 24 degrees Celsius is a good range as well. So in order to sex platies, the males will have a pistol-shaped fin underneath their bodies, which is known as a gonopodium, and the females will have a more triangular shaped fin underneath. There is a pretty good diagram that floats around the internet, so I didn't draw this up, but I'll put it on the screen somewhere just to indicate what exactly you need to look for. Then I'd recommend keeping a ratio of 2 females to every male because the males can get a bit rowdy. They are a little bit like rabbits, and the males just continually want to breed all day, every day. So it's good to give more females so that they can have a break. Females will be pregnant for about 28 to 30 days, something around about a month. And you'll notice that they're ready to pop because their belly will go from a rounder shape to more squared off, and you'll start to see some black dots towards the rear of the body of the female. At that point, she's ready to give live birth. They are a live bearer, which means that for that 30-day incubation period, they are holding the eggs internally. I guess it stops from fungusing and things like that, and they've developed this over a number of years. So they will give birth to live fry, which means that immediately we need to be able to protect these fry, because the male and female are inclined to occasionally eat live fry, depending on which one you've got. So the best way to do this, I think, is to have a heavily planted aquarium. Some people do like to catch the females when they're ready to give birth, but I think this stresses out the fish. Can you imagine if you're 9 months pregnant and somebody nets you out, puts you in a whole new environment and just expects you to be okay with it? I've had a pregnant wife at times, and I don't think that she'd be all for that idea. So the best bet is to actually give a heavily planted aquarium. Things like hornwort, water lettuce, and other things that are going to have a nice dense vegetation, because it'll allow the baby platypus to be born, instinctively swim off to the protection of the vegetation, and then it'll give them a chance to sort of hide, collect themselves, maybe eat some little crustaceans and things that are in your aquarium naturally, and then they'll grow up big enough so that they're not at risk of predation. So the more plants you can have in there, the better. Anything that's going to be sort of branching out and reproducing really fast is a really great option. I also really like the combination of shrimp, platies, and bristlenose, because they'll all breed in the same aquarium, and it's just really, really fun to see. So platy babies tend to go all over the aquarium, so it's good to have dense vegetation at the bottom. Things like pearlweed, I would suggest, is a great one for there. They go in the middle of the aquarium, so that's where I'd say things like hornwort is a great option for the middle. Anything that, there's another plant called foxtail, but there's a lot of those sort of limnophila plants that are going to be a great one for that purpose. And then they also hang out at the top of the aquarium as well. That's why I suggest things like frogbit and water lettuce. But if you're not into aquatic plants, you can also get some really nice plastic ones as well if you have to, although I'd always recommend going the live plant route. So there you go, guys, that's how to care for and breed platyfish. Fantastic beginner fish, really hardy, really would recommend them if you've never tried them before. They're a great one to just sort of put in a tank, watch the colony grow, and it can be a great one as well. Hopefully you like this video, guys. It always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.